why did you even pay money with Agency U?
I wanted to shut everything down. I was like, I'm done with this. Like, it's just too chaotic. It's too stressful. I'm not getting any clients. And I was working like nonstop. Just got so tired of it, like burnt out. And I was like, man, I need to change up what I'm doing. The biggest thing that attracted me to you guys was definitely your systems. That got me excited. I was like, yeah, I need that.
Kind of where you're at now.
In August of 2024, we were doing around about 30K. This past month of December of 2025, we did 104 grand, which is by far, never thought I would do it.
What up, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube case study with my boy Haas. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Grinding away.
Grinding away. How's Texas? Is it snowing there?
So it snowed yesterday, which, I mean, if you live in Texas, the whole city of Austin, I'm assuming the whole state of Texas just shuts down. It was
Really?
it was less than an inch, dude. And I mean, like everything shut down. We called off all our shoots.
No
Clients
way.
clients were like, yeah, we're not leaving our house. And so,
That's
yeah,
funny.
I mean, it was melted by like 10 o'clock. So, but still, we called off everything.
Crazy.
So, yeah, interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't miss the cold because we're in San Diego now. We're living in Seattle, it'd snow, and we had like an ice storm a couple years ago. It was freaking crazy. All the viral TikTok videos of like those cars sliding was literally in Seattle.
I mean,
that year.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Missouri, and like it would drop down to like 15 degrees, and like I don't even know how I did that. If that happened now, dude, like my body would freak out.
Yeah.
I'd probably just lay in bed all day.
I don't know why everybody doesn't just live in an amazing climate like San Diego. So I don't know.
Some people like the cold, which is
True.
I find that wild. People are like, yeah, I love the cold. I'm like, you're insane. You're a psychopath.
I think if you grew up in like Arizona or something like that, then you're like so over the sun and the hot, then maybe. But
yeah, or like the people that are like really into like winter sports, like snowboarding, skiing, like they love Christmas.
Sounds
Stuff
miserable.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, dude, thanks so much for doing this. Really excited to hear from you, have you share a little bit about your journey, your agency. Obviously, you're crushing it. So why don't you just take us back? Because we've been working together for over a year now, right? Seems like.
Yeah, I think we're approaching like 2 years, I think.
Wow. Yeah. So why don't you just like look back? I mean, I remember our first call, you were like, I want to shut down my agency. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, and now you're pretty consistent. Obviously you have different types of problems, but why don't you go back? Like, why did you even pay money with Agency U? Like what was going on at the agency that you were trying to solve?
Yeah. I mean, so whenever we first started, I wanted to shut everything down. I was like, I'm done with this. Like, it's just too chaotic. It's too stressful. Like, I'm not getting any clients. I mean, I was maybe getting a couple here and there, but like it was just nothing significant enough to like, I'm like, okay, I want to continue this on. I'd rather just go take a full-time job and just go work for somebody else. And the biggest thing that attracted me to you guys was definitely your systems. Whenever I jumped on a call with Gilberto, I believe who it was, he kind of showed me your guys' back end, like showed me like what you guys were teaching system wise. And I was like, yeah, like, that got me excited. I was like, yeah, I need that. Like that's probably what's going to change everything for me. And it did. Like having a foundation, almost like what you guys implement of like, oh, it's so easy. It's just copy and paste literally of like, this is what I can build my foundation for my agency off of, was huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember like you were kind of just like because you are very like, networked with online coaches, and you would like take a lot of just like random jobs, and like you were traveling a bunch, and it was also kind of wearing out on you. Like, tell me more about that.
Yeah. I mean, I was working like nonstop, traveling all over the country, shooting. And it was, I mean, like I did it for, 2 years of like, basically I was on a plane every other week, traveling to go shoot, and then just got so tired of it, like burnt out. And I was like, man, like I need to change up what I'm doing. And like the only way to do that really was to actually start building a team and start implementing like an actual system, building SOPs, and kind of changing up our offer slightly, then everything kind of changed whenever I like built out a studio and was like, okay, now I have a space for clients to come to me rather than like me kind of always going out to them. traveling, being in the car, whatever it was.
Hmm.
But yeah, changed up the offer slightly. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember like what you were trying like to fix this problem when you were first coming, like what you were trying to do? Like
Mm,
I tried this offer and it wasn't selling. I thought I could just go fly to people. I mean, this was 2 years ago, so maybe not.
yeah, I mean, I don't really remember exactly like what I was like trying to like do. I mean, like I had no, I had no direction. Let's say that much. Like it was just more or less. I was a good videographer. I knew I had a good eye. I had a good creative like direction. And then my previous employer, I had gotten him results, and like a couple clients, I've gotten results too. So it was just like, okay, like I'm making money doing this, like, but like I don't know exactly like how to like really craft like a no-brainer offer, or I
Yeah.
don't really know how to like speak to my clients like pain points, and like there was like no overall direction. Like
Yeah.
I knew video, and I
Hmm.
knew editing. I didn't know business.
Yeah. Yeah. Like scaling beyond yourself, besides like just your skill set. Like, oh,
Right.
but I want Haas to shoot for me. I want to talk to Haas.
Yeah.
I want Haas to do all the scripting. I want Haas to
Yeah.
be on the calls, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
100%.
100% that. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, I mean, like that was one big aspect of it as well too. I remember, I think you told me like the clients don't care who's shooting it or who you're talking to.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's 100% right. Like, I mean, we have our videographer now. Clients are happy with him. I'm not even involved with production,
Yeah.
and all the way to post production as well too. Like I'm happy to say like we have clients that I don't even know exist.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I see probably maybe their videos, maybe like I'll see one, but other than that, like I'll get like a great review from them saying like, "Hey, love the videos, team was great." I mean, that's like the dream.
Yeah. 100%. What were you doing for like systems prior to Agency U?
So prior, I had like a basic like project management system of like on Monday of like in edit, done, reviewed, sent. Like it was
Mm.
very 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 basic, almost like I think it was Monday and Trello that I was using. But yeah, like very basic, and I was the one that was managing it.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
my editors were barely doing anything
Yeah.
at the time, which
Yeah.
not necessarily their fault, more or less my leadership
Hmm.
and the things that I was setting expectations wise from them. So yeah.
Yeah. What about like um, you mentioned like the offer, but what about like client acquisition? Like what were you doing for that before?
Client acquisition was just referrals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of just
There
like
was
who saw you online.
yeah. Who knew me? Just referral based. And I would just kind of take it as like, I was just waiting for the clients to come in. Like,
Yeah.
like typical video. I was like, why are they not rolling in? I'm posting great videos. I'm posting on social media. Like, like why, yeah, like why
Yeah.
are they not rolling in? Like, I didn't really understand like book calls, like,
Yeah.
sales calls. Like I had no idea really.
Yeah.
It was just more or less like, hey, can you edit this video? Like, yeah, cool. Like it's $500,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Just
just
taking orders.
yeah, I just kept doing that for, 2 years. And I mean, got me to where I'm at now. But I mean, at the time, like it was just like, you can only do that for so long before
Yeah.
you're like, okay, this
I have
isn't
a job.
working.
You feel like
Yeah.
you have a job pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
With, like multiple different clients and just order taking. Cool, man. Well, let's break it down kind of where you're at now. Like, why don't you give a quick overview of like we hit on the offer, we hit
Yeah.
on the systems, we hit on the team, we hit on the client acquisition stuff. Why don't you kind of break down where you're at now, and then we can talk about the specifics of what
Yeah.
specifically helped get you there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can give you a specific number. In August of 2024, in August of 2024, we were doing around about 30K, maybe 20 to 30K. This past month of December of 2025, we did 104 grand,
Let's go.
which is by far, never thought I would do it.
Mhm.
100K a month, like that's like the dream, right? Yeah. And then we did it. And like yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah.
We have a team of 25 plus. We have an ops manager. We have a project manager. We have a media buyer. Never thought I'd be running a massive team like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like continue to scale up, and then we're going to do 200 this year. So, um, yeah, I mean, came far,
Sure.
came far.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, let's
so,
break down like what, because 100K, that was like the goal. That's what you hit. What
right.
were the steps that you feel like were able to like get you there, from like the offer, the systems, like the team, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Uh,
So I'll try to break it down as easily as I can, and like, of course, there's probably a couple like details that I'll like miss, but like
yeah.
one was like solidifying like, okay, the offer, right? What is the offer? What makes it a no brainer? What makes it like really good and really easy for the client, right? That's like the
Mhm.
one thing I wanted to create was like, okay, like it would be really hard for the client to say no to this because we're literally taking care of everything.
Mhm.
So understanding that, and then understanding the fulfillment side of things, where like that project can come in, it can get fulfilled, and there's everybody is on the same page on like what's happening with that project. Then on the media buying and the sales side of things, understanding, okay, like having a sales script, that we can easily duplicate over to a sales team, that they can, sorry, where am I going with this? Yeah, that they can take, and that they can start like booking calls, closing deals, and get them into our system. uh,
Mhm.
I mean, like it was a whole like restructure on every part of the departments, from like sales, marketing, production, fulfillment, to like even like shooting in the studio. I guess that's kind
Yeah.
of production, but I mean, we redid everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like was most helpful from like what you picked up at agency or what we worked on to like implement some of that stuff? I mean, like offer systems, team, whatever it could be.
I mean, for me wise, it was definitely like systems and then team. Yeah.
Mhm.
Understanding like, okay, what systems do we need to implement? Like what's a CRM? Like how should we use the CRM? All the systems, and like even on like the production side of things, of like seeing like how you guys handle editing to all the way to like post production to distribution as well too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the team stuff, like what's been helpful from like the team and building the team and like hiring? Because I think it's one thing to like, I
Yeah.
mean, you have 25 people, holy crap, like that's a lot of people and that's a lot of like things to manage, expectations to manage.
Right.
And if you do that wrong, then
Yeah.
like your whole company fails, because if you have 25 people doing something not how you want it to be done, then
Right.
that's a reflection of actually the company.
Right.
And there's no way
Right.
you hit 100 grand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I made my mistakes. Like, I mean, I think like my first couple hires, like I mean, they're not with us anymore. Um, and like the biggest thing I probably learned from agency use was just like setting expectations up front, and like having clear like guidelines and like responsibilities of like that person. At the very beginning, whenever I was making my first hires, I was just assuming like this person would get it. Hey, like throw them into the fire, they'll figure it out. That's not necessarily the case. Like, yes, I do think that's good at some aspects, but making sure that expectations and like responsibilities for that specific role are very clear to that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything breaks.
Yeah.
Like
Everything
one
breaks.
person screws up, then it screws literally everything up, and then the client will never come back. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And my mind breaks, and so does my heart. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then everything falls back on you, and then
Yeah.
you're back to square one.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yep. Yep.
what was like for people watching this, because it's mostly like agencies watching this, like what do you feel like was most or is most valuable inside of agency you? Is it like, hey, you get everything copy and paste? Hey, Austin's going to jump on calls and like help build stuff out with you. Hey, like the client acquisition stuff, or like what would you say to those
I mean,
people watching? Because they have
yeah.
no idea like what happens after. I mean, they might, but like feel free to.
What happens after like they sign up with you?
Yeah, I mean, like
Oh.
what's on the inside? It's like,
Yeah, I mean, like, so the most valuable thing 100% has been like the one-on-one calls with you. It's just kind of like gotten me realigned, like gotten me motivated, like running an agency, like, I mean, you understand, like it's hard. It's not easy. And like an agency like is there's a lot of moving pieces. I mean, depending on like your business model and your offer, but most agencies there's a lot of moving pieces. So the one-on-one calls have been probably the most valuable, and the second most valuable is the community for sure. That's why like I continue to like stick around, because I'm always seeing like what people are implementing, um, what new things are coming across the board. Because with like at least on the video production side of things are always changing. Social media is always changing.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that we're staying on top of that as like business owners, as agency owners, and like having a community there with other agency owners to see what they're doing is like so valuable. It's hard to kind of put into words on like what that does for me and what that does for my entire company.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's really cool to like look at your systems, and now like you have somebody helping you with the systems and like what you've been able to build. And I mean, it shows because you've been able to execute, you've stayed motivated. And I feel like every time we talk and then you actually execute it, where it's like, yeah, I feel like if I send you something, it's not just going to go to air and you'd be like, okay, I'm going to do this. It like actually sees it. You actually see it through. And that's really been what's caused this to like scale the way that it's been able to scale. So
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, it's been phenomenal just having like a team there to like help support that. At the very beginning, of course, it was just me like trying to figure it out and like do everything, but like just taking that jump of like, okay, like I'm gonna hire this person to do this and get this off my plate, so I can focus on things that are actually moving the business forward.
yeah.
I mean, like I still, I mean, as probably every agency owner or business owner, that I still sometimes get stuck in working in the business rather than on the business. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that was the huge game changer. Like
Mhm.
actually like working on the business and like
Mhm.
thinking about, okay, like 6 months from now, whenever we hire this person and like we're investing into this person, what's that going to be, right?
Mhm.
Like that's probably the biggest thing I've learned in the past, 8 9 months, right? Like hiring somebody and especially and expecting them just to like figure everything out within the first like 2 to 3 months, right? And like really like reach their full potential is not like idealistic. Like I don't know why I thought that, but understanding like this is an investment into the company and like investing into this person
Mhm.
to help you get you where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not their business. They're never going to work as hard as you. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we have to realize that and
Yeah. Unfortunately.
and do our
Unfortunately.
best.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
not everybody's wired like you, Haas.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. 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 I would highly like recommend, one thing I've learned is hire A players.
yeah.
Like they're out there, like don't settle for hire A players. I settled for, B and C players, and it bit me in the ass.
Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
for
make sure.
bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was just more or less like I was just out of like, scarcity of like, okay, like I need to make this higher. Like I need to get
Yeah.
somebody in the door so I can like go focus on the business. But it just made everything 10 times harder.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like you have to like restart that process all over again. And like, yeah, so just making sure you're hiring like A players.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
All right, people watching this again, agency owners, maybe they've had a call with our team, maybe they're considering jumping on a call. What are you saying to the agency who was you 2 years ago doing 20K, 20 to 30K, feeling like a glorified freelancer?
Yeah. I mean, like I've been where you're at. And if you're stuck around there, you need to join Agency U. Not more or less even just for like the coaching calls and whatnot, just being a part of that community. Like you'll learn so much from other people that are in the exact same position that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't really put it to exactly like what I've learned from like other members of the community, but like I pick up so many small little things. So like if you're on the fence of joining, do it. Like you got to do it right now, because it's going to change your agency. It'll change everything for you. It'll change your life. It'll change your agency. Like it'll change everything.
Yeah, dope. And you've been in a lot of programs, so your endorsement holds a lot of weight with me because I know you've seen a lot and you invest a lot into yourself.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And I mean, it goes to, like, I want to say like, thank you to you. I mean, like you've been phenomenal, as a coach, as a mentor, because nobody's really like everybody, you like, they'll throw you into like a course or they'll throw you into like, you know, whatever, like the community aspect of it, which is fine and great. But like then like the actual like jumping on one-on-ones, like guiding me through everything. I'm like, hey, like I have a question
Mhm.
around this. I mean, like it seems like you are never off Slack,
Mhm.
which is phenomenal. But you know, even like having Gilberto here, like somebody that is specialized in sales, jumping on calls with him, like asking very specific questions to the expert, like is phenomenal.
Yeah. And you're saying that over the courses that you've gone through, like you're not getting that? Because I don't really know. I mean, we've
Yeah.
spent a lot of money, but from
I
your
mean,
experience just with like other types of like agency scaling programs, quote unquote, like what's the difference between like an agency you versus others that you've been in?
mm, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, the other ones I've been in are just like courses or they're just like templates or like they're just not they're just not as good.
Hmm.
You know, like what I liked about Agency U and what I liked the most was like it was literally like you had everything there where I needed to build the foundation, like the foundation of the business. Like all I had to do was really like tweak a couple things, um, send some things over like to our like project management system. It just made it as easy as possible to get to where I'm at.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
cool. Appreciate that.
yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for hopping on. Is there anything else, final words before I let you go that you didn't say that you would like to say?
No, I mean, like if you're watching this, you got to join. I mean, like I said again, it'll change everything. I can't really put into words what it's done for me. Feel free to reach out to me. Like if you have any questions, be more than happy to answer them.
Dope. Appreciate that. And people will take you up on that. So
Yeah,
you said it, not me. I'm sure
yeah,
people have already hit you up. So
yeah.
if not, then now you're public. So they will hit you up.
Sick. Please do.
All right, bro. Thank you again.
Yeah.